Russia is using SpaceX's Starlink satellite devices in Ukraine, sources say.
Here's a summary of the article.
Russian forces appear to be using tens of Starlink terminals across the long front, the first Ukrainian source said. In a February 8 tweet, SpaceX officials said the company does not do business of any kind with the Russian government or its military. Starlink is not active in Russia, meaning service will not work in that country. SpaceX has never sold or marketed Starlink in Russia, nor has it shipped equipment to locations in Russia. SpaceX is capable of preventing the use of Starlink devices in Russian-occupied territory. According to a biography of SpaceX founder Elon Musk, he refused a request by Ukraine to enable Starlink access in Russian-occupied Crimea to enable a Ukrainian attack. Clark also supported the idea that Ukraine could tell if Russia was using Starlink, as the terminal's signals can be identified with signals intelligence equipment. With Ukrainian forces at times pressing attacks against Russia, SpaceX may fear that a mistake in defining the front line could leave Ukraine without Starlink coverage, he said. SpaceX has provided thousands of the Starlink devices to Ukraine through company donations, U.S. military-funded transfers, and individual purchases by Ukrainian volunteers.
This post received a score of 3,400, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Elon making a great argument for nationalizing Starlink.
We did pay for it. All his companies get huge government funding, which is crazy considering he is openly an anti-Semitic Russian asset.
It's insane how many things are not nationalized. In the UK I can't believe infrastructure is not nationalized. Like, why do we want profits from energy, public transport and internet providers going to shareholders? Surely that profit would be better being completely reinvested into employee bonuses in the industry.
People don't seem to understand certain things should be provided by the government rather than private corporations. A government's priority is to provide services, while a corporation's priority is to make money. I would rather trust a well-funded government to provide water, electricity, and energy than a private business, especially if they become so large they are functionally monopolistic.
Starlink should provide terminal locations for every terminal connecting to the network in Ukraine to the Ukrainian government on a daily basis, then allowing the Ukrainian government to decide which of those are allowed to continue connecting to the network and which are disabled and whose location is designated to be investigated further.
An employee at Starlink should leak this info to Ukraine to help them create a drone bombing map.
They are probably too busy giving the information to Russia.
Look, I get hating Musk, but this requires the entirety of the Starlink team to be complicit in some way in leaking information to Russian assets. This take borders on disinformation that supports Russian interests.
Russia using Starlink is likely literally the best thing that could happen for US intelligence. Reddit's job is to demonize Musk by any means necessary. It doesn't take much to demonize the wannabe Goebbels.
If Ukraine had the IDs for all their terminals, it'd be simple, but they don't.
That's a completely normal inventory audit process. Happens all the time in corporates. There are logistical issues about getting the authorization codes out there, but not insurmountable. Someone is paying the bill for every individual device.
Very nice that the title omits the stolen, captured, black market nature of the terminals. SpaceX does not provide service to or in Russia and actively cuts off unauthorized use. Is there also an uproar each time Russians use a stolen iPhone?
In Ukraine is the important part. Fog of war makes it hard to determine which actors are using tech.
I feel like trying to talk Elon out of being a dick is like trying to talk a Ilama out of cutting off hands. It just isn't gonna happen.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.